moving on to the NFL, because I believe a day ago, maybe 2 days ago, we got a bombshell. Should the Patriots be shopping Mac Jones? Because the report that came out was that the alleged report that came out said that Bill Belichick was actually shopping Mac Jones. Okay. And Zay, I would love to do the honors here to kick us off, because that report was garbage by my guy, Mike LaForio. I mean, he got that report straight out of Area 51, with all due respect. Um, Listen, I understand that right now the NFL free agency has cooled down, right? The football season is over. There's no more football content, right? Like that. Free agency frenzy was crazy. Now it's cooled off a little bit. So predominantly football shows are trying to get content out there, get reports out there, so they can build upon the content to talk about football, the NFL, right? So I understand that's the culture that we live in, the clickbait culture. But this report, I'm not buying it. You know why I'm not buying it? Because if this report was true, that Bill Belichick was shopping Mac Jones, the Raiders would have had Mac Jones. They would not go after an injury riddled Jimmy G over a young Mac Jones who could be the short and long term answer for Josh McDaniels. I'm not buying this report at all. And I am buying that there's friction. Of course, a blind man could know there's friction. They can see it. Okay, Stevie Wonder gave me the thumbs up on Instagram. Okay, on Instagram Live. He knows that there's friction going on with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones. But I tell you this, I'm looking at the situation last year, and Mac Jones had old, outdated weapons, had a defensive coordinator, okay, calling offensive plays for him, and I believe the beef stimulated with Mac Jones seeking outside resources for help. And Bill Belichick didn't like that. And that's where the beef started. And obviously, he got benched for a game when Bailey Zappi came back, and there was a Zappi situation and the non-committal Bill Belichick, okay, not committing to Mac Jones being the starter going forward. So I understand there's friction going on, okay? But still, Bill Belichick, I need to answer this question this way. Should the Patriots be shopping Mac Jones? No, they should not. They should be shopping Bill Belichick. Oh my gosh. Lil has lost his mind on the show. Hot take, clickbait. Zay, I said it, man. You heard it right, bro. You don't got to double check. You don't got to run it back. You heard it right. The Patriots should shop Bill Belichick. When is enough enough? How many times do this team has to miss the playoffs in the post-Tom Brady era? And listen, I'm not trying to short Bill Belichick. He's a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach and all that. But he needs to modernize his system. And so far, I'm looking at these weapons. Okay, look at the AFC East. Look what everybody in the AFC East is doing and what they have. They got Josh Allen, an MVP caliber player with Stephon Diggs. Every time these two teams played, we saw what happened in the playoffs 2 years ago. They got bombarded. That was one of the worst playoff games I've ever seen. If the Cardinals and Kyler Murray didn't top that, that would have been it. Okay? They topped it the day after. Okay? Well, 2 days after that, Monday night. Look at what the Jets are trying to build. Okay? Yes, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. Okay? And that's where me and Zay may differ. But they got better with Aaron Rodgers, and they got weapons. Okay? And Odell might be coming along over there. They're going to put up points. Look at the Dolphins. They can stop somebody now. We know they can put up points, but they couldn't stop a brick. They can stop somebody now with the additions of Jalen Ramsey, okay, and Vic Fangio. Who am I missing here? Bills, Jets, yeah, Dolphins, exactly. And the Patriots. That's the one who's missing here. And so, yes, they should be shopping Bill Belichick, not Mac Jones. And I'll let you respond to that.
Um, it's tough to answer this question because I think when you look at what Mac Jones had as offensive weapons, you can't really pinpoint where his ceiling is as a quarterback. You don't know where it could possibly be, especially in a system, in this Patriots offensive system where it's basically run the ball first, second, and third. You throw a check down to the tight end, to the receivers once in a while, and then hopefully the defense gets some turnovers and we, kick a lot of field goals. That's like been the Patriots mantra for some time now. Especially when Tom Brady was there. When we talk about Tom Brady's time, when the league was going pass heavy, Belichick was going run heavy. And then when the league was going run heavy, Belichick was going pass heavy. It was like he's doing like this Jedi mind tricks where he's trying to change the paradigm shift of how offenses should be run. I think Belichick, as masterful as he has been as a coach for years with Tom Brady, he has to understand that the time for all his mind tricks is done. And they no longer work. He is the Greg Popovich of the NFL. You have the resume, you have the elite years of being a supreme head coach, but you are no longer that guy. And I think it's time for the, like you stated, I agree with you. Patriots should not be shopping Mac Jones. They should be releasing Bill Belichick because they're ruining a lot of young talent on this team. Is primarily Mac Jones. I understand he had an off year, but so did that entire Patriots team. There was nobody to throw it to. They didn't really have weapons. You paid all this money, the most you ever paid for the tight ends, and you got Damian Harris as running back at one point, then you got Ramondre Stevenson like late in the picks, and then you're just cycling through guys trying to find the one that's going to really stand out above all, and it hasn't worked out, and you haven't been able to attract the high marquee talent. The defense has been great, and I'll never knock him from the defense. Whatever he's doing with the defense is fantastic, but offensively, you're not it. You can't get the weapons and the assets to do so. And maybe, and this is why I'm shifting because they're not gonna let go of Belichick. Belichick has a stronghold on the Patriots, and until he's ready to go or he croaks out, he's not leaving. And maybe you should shop Mac Jones, not because he's not a good talent or he doesn't. You know what his ceiling is. It's because all you're doing is hurting both sides. You're hurting your offense because you don't for whatever reason it's not clicking in your mind. But then also you're hurting Mac Jones because all you're doing is creating anger and frustration within this kid who's done nothing but come in since day one and started producing for the team. He went to the playoffs his rookie year and he had an outstanding rookie season, almost close to 4,000 yards. And I think a lot of teams that are looking for a quarterback right now will give you that draft pick, that top end draft pick for Mac Jones. You talk about the Colts, you talk about the Panthers, you talk about the Texans. Those kind of guys will go and trade for Mac Jones and say we don't really need a quarterback in this draft, because if you compare Mac Jones to the quarterbacks in this draft, Mac Jones has a higher ceiling than these kids. That Mac Jones went to a playoff game without star weapons, without top tier weapons. So you can't even make the argument that this draft prospect has a higher ceiling. No, Mac Jones has a higher ceiling. Because if you give him the right weapons around him, you see he knows how to play winning football. You put a great defense around him, he plays winning football. So that's something that needs to be discussed more. And I think, the mainstream media, they haven't picked up on this yet. And maybe a fake news kind of scenario, maybe a load of crap from Mike LaFlorio as it was reported. But maybe there's some smoke to this. There has to be some type of smoke in the air about this. And maybe teams that have that top draft pick should ask about the Patriots. Hey, what's the price tag on Mac Jones? Do you want that top pick? You can have it. Because I know what Mac Jones is as a talent. And I think Bill Belichick, as angry as he is, he has a pettiness to him where he allows his emotions to make decisions for him. He doesn't bring certain guys back because his pride is too big. His ego is too strong. So this is something that maybe some teams would take advantage of and say, hey, we'll give you this draft pick for Mac Jones. And then you will probably see Mac Jones flourish in a different team, possibly same division, but I think it may be a different division. I don't see a conference. I don't see them going AFC trading to the AFC. He may go to an NFC team. But Bill Belichick for years has been an egotistical dictator. So this is something that may have some smoke to it. We have to see as the weeks go on what's going to happen, because it is very interesting when it comes to terms of Mac Jones.
I mean, look, man, I've seen it. I've been a Patriots fan for over 2 decades. And I know Bill Belichick, he will watch his house burn down before he do anything if it means he gets what he wants. I've seen it. I saw the Super Bowl. And I always have this Super Bowl indoctrinated in my brain. The Super Bowl against the Eagles, when Tom Brady threw for 505 yards, the most yards a quarterback threw in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. And he benched Malcolm Butler, who clearly was our best corner, and saw his replacement getting cooked up by Alshon Jeffrey. And he did not want to throw him back in the game. He sat there and watched this team lose a whole Super Bowl because of pride. A Super Bowl that could have not only went to Tom Brady's resume, the Patriots resume, but his resume. A guy chasing Don Shula. Hallelujah. Might as well sign me to her. But this cat was like, my pride is too big. I'm going to watch this cat, Eric Rowe, get cooked by a number 2 wide receiver. I remember that. And I think when you reflect back to this time and actually reflect back in a way, but pertaining to this topic, the things that I miss about the Patriots, right? And I'm no longer a Patriots fan. I can't stand them. Okay, respectfully. Okay, after they did my boy Tom Brady like that, nah, I'm good. When you think about it, the Patriots in their dynasty, they always had rivalries and different rivalries throughout the dynasty, right? You talk about the Steelers rivalry. I hated the Steelers. You talk about the Ravens rivalry in the playoffs. They always had our number, but we always got their number too. Hated them, right? You talk about Kansas City towards the end, the Peyton Manning, the Colts, right? And then Kansas City towards the end. And now, at the time Brady leaves, who are they rivals? Who are they going neck and neck with? Buffalo already got their number. Buffalo figured them out. The Jets are going to figure them out. The Dolphins already figured them out. They can't beat the Dolphins. Dolphins give them work. You know, where's a big rivalry at? The league is passing them by. Bill Belichick, you are the greatest coach of all time. I'm not going to take that away from you. I'm not stupid. Okay? But the league is passing you by. You could be, the best heart surgeon of all time, right? Everybody call you when it's time to perform a surgery on a heart to save somebody's life. But at some point, you get old. And you lose a step. Okay? I'm not trying to throw shots at nobody. Salute to my doctor. I don't go to him no more because he was a children's doctor. My man's was good. My man's will stick you with a needle and you won't even feel it. That's how good he was. Right? You know how you get a needle, you start crying. Wah, wah. Nah, you won't feel it. But then as I got older and my last shit going to him, my boy lost a step. I was feeling the needles, man. I'm like, yo, what happened? You losing a step. Bill Belichick is losing a step, my guy. And it makes me reflect back to Asante Samuel, who came out when Lamar Jackson hit up Meek Mill to hit up Robert Kraft saying that he wanted to go to the Patriots. Asante Samuel came out and said, nah, you don't want to do that. Hell to the nah. You don't want to do that, right? And now his comments justifies Mac frustrations. Listen, a lot of people talk about who is the greatest football coach of all time. And I'm not only talking about NFL here. You can talk about college as well. Nick Saban, Bill Belichick. And I always defended Bill Belichick. I'm like, listen, man, the NFL, college, two different things. I'm taking the NFL guy. But when I reflect back to Alabama, where Mac Jones played under, you guessed it, Nick Saban got that cat to a Heisman finalist. He was a Heisman finalist. That was Nick Saban. He groomed him to be NFL ready. Okay? He almost won the daggone Heisman. If a receiver by the name of Devontae Smith didn't have the best wide receiver year ever in college football, Mac Jones possibly could have won it. And yet, okay, as NFL ready as he is, Nick Saban gift wraps Bill Belichick an NFL pro ready prospect. Okay, hit him up to draft Mac Jones. Like, listen, man, because they have that connection, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick go to Nick Saban for advice. Y'all don't know that by now? Y'all don't know that Bill Belichick goes to Nick Saban for advice? He does. And he went for advice. Should I draft this guy, Mac Jones? I never drafted a quarterback this high. Nick Saban, what you thought Nick Saban told him? You don't need to know what he told him because he drafted him. So he told him something good. He's pro ready. He could play today. And yet, last year I'll make the playoffs. You don't give him you gave him a defensive coordinator, not an offensive coordinator. I understand Bill O'Brien came to the picture, but could you get somebody else not named Juju? And you fumbled that. So I'm not taking no more debates on that specific side. Nick Saban is the greatest coach of all time in football history. And I said it. A lot of hot takes on this show. But guess what? It wasn't intentional. I'm just speaking facts. Good night. Okay, let's move on to halftime here, man. It's time to go to halftime. Bill Belichick, I'm done talking about your behind. Okay, you done sold your soul to the devil. All right, because you're playing games right now. All right, I want to see. Listen, I want to see Mac Jones giving structure. All right, you did a lot for Tom Brady. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, but you helped him. I'm not stupid. You groomed him. Groom Mac Jones. Modernize your system a little bit. And yes, they should go shopping with Bill Belichick, man. Get some assets for him. You're going to get a lot.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.